some story. And first on our list, we have the case of Ike Ikwere-Madu. Then the court orders National Identification Management Commission to submit Ukpo's biodata to the Attorney General of the Federation. Now you recall that the case between Ike Ikwere-Madu and the young guy who was referred to as a minor has been in the UK's court for quite some time right now. And then the court has ordered NIMS to ensure that the biodata of the young guy is being provided to the Attorney General. Prior to now, the lawyer to Ike Ikwere-Madu was requesting that that data will be given to him. But again, the court is saying, no, that data cannot get to you. It has to get to the Attorney General of the Federation. And then through the Attorney General of the Federation, it can get to the United Kingdom for proper verification of all of the details and information of the young man. And then moving on our story tonight, ISWAP claims responsibility for the Kuje attack, also frees Kaduna train attack masterminds. Now you recall that on Tuesday night there was a major attack in the Kuje prison. And ISWAP came out today to claim that they were responsible for that attack, as they also went ahead to free some masterminds, or rather all the masterminds of the Kaduna, the Abuja-Kaduna train attack. Well, lots of persons have been saying that right now ISWAP has made their presence very much known in the country, Nigeria. What then is the federal government doing about it? If you recall, when the Owo massacre happened, there were talks that ISWAP was responsible for that particular attack, and the government promised us that they were going to do everything within their powers to ensure that ISWAP was being brought to book. But up until now, nothing has been done, and right now ISWAP has come out to claim responsibility that they were the masterminds, they were actually the perpetrators of that particular attack. What is the government going to do? That's the question that we're asking. What really are they going to do? Are they going to fight ISWAP right now? Are they going to bring them to book? This question, we are going to get answers to it via the actions of the federal government of Nigeria. Next on our story tonight, we have the Nigerian Labour Congress president calls for fixing of refineries. You recall that most of the talks going on about our refineries is that the Nigerian refineries are in rehabilitation, which means that they're trying to revive our refineries in the country. And yeah, it has not been done yet. The NLC president is calling on Nigerians to say, come on, go ahead and refine, go ahead and bring back our refineries, because it is going to be a slap in our face. Exporting or importing fuel to our nation is not a good thing, and it's not helping us. And as an oil producing nation, we are supposed to be refining our oil, refining our fuel, refining our petrol right here in the country, and as well as export it and then make profit out of it, and not sending the the raw product out there for export, for refining, and then being imported back to the nation, and then we keep buying it. Now you recall there's been lots and lots of hike in the price of PMS. There's been some scarcity in some places. Queues are resurfacing in Abuja, in Lagos State. Come on, we are the producers of these things. We should be, of course, benefit from it more in-depthly. Well, these are some of the things that we are going to be dissecting on the show tonight. Just like you know, first we're going to go on a short break, and when we come back, we'll dive into the conversations properly.
Meet the people making the difference in our time on ATN Icons. Here, we present you legends celebrated for their heroism in different fields and serve as role models today. ATN Icons, showing every Sunday 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Atlantic Television Network, StarTimes DTH channel 194, ATN Live on Google App Store, Facebook Atlantic Television Network, YouTube Atlantic Television Network, Instagram Atlantic TV Network, Twitter Atlantic TV Net. For sponsorship 0810-634-1777. ATN Icons, celebrating the giants of our time.
The people, the candidates, the party, the campaigns. What really makes an election here? Enough of the rhetorics. It's time for issue-based politics. 2023 elections. Who are the candidates? What do you know about them? Take a seat, relax, and join us for the 2023 elections on Atlantic Television Network, StarTimes, DTH, channel 194, or ATN Live on Google Play Store and all our social media platforms. Twitter is at Atlantic TV Net. Facebook and YouTube is at Atlantic Television Network. On Instagram is at Atlantic TV Network. Elections 2023 from Mondays to Fridays at 8 p.m. Election 2023. We the people have a stake.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the
Welcome back, and of course, if you're just joining us, this is ATN's Press Roundtable, and the Press Roundtable is a convergence of media practitioners who dissect the news and current affairs, and also bring the right narration on the news. Tonight, joining me on the show is a freelance journalist and editor, Urobo Voice. Good luck, Edafe. Good evening, sir.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure to have you on the show this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Also joining me is a broadcast journalist, Moses Ben. Welcome, Moses.
Thank you very much, Victor. It's good to be at this evening.
It's a pleasure to have you on the show this evening, and I like the voice.
Oh, thank you. Let's not go there. Let's look at what we have this evening.
Awesome. So let's move straight to the story for tonight. All right, so let's move on to our first story. Court orders National Identification Management Commission to submit Ukpo's biodata to the AGN. Well, the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja yesterday ordered the National Identification Management Commission, NIMC, to immediately submit the biodata of David Ukpo, who accused the former Deputy Senate President Ike Ekweremadu and his wife Beatrice of sponsoring his trip abroad for the purpose of harvesting his organ, to the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Mr. Abubakar Malami San. Now, the court, in a ruling that was delivered by Justice Inyang Eku, said Ukpo's biodata should be released to Malami for same to be transmitted to the court in the United Kingdom that is handling the trial of Ekweremadu and his wife. The commission contended that it was not served with hearing, the commission contended that it was not served with hearing notice before the said order was issued against it. Though NIMC initially asked for the order to be set aside, it later amended its motion and requested that it should rather be directed to submit Ukpo's biodata to the Attorney General of the Federation instead of to Ekweremadu's lawyers. Now, you know, some of the challenges that we've had about this particular case is that the young man accused Ike Ekweremadu of organ harvesting. And Ike Ekweremadu has come out to say that I didn't kidnap this young guy. This guy came out, you know, on his own consent. And lots of persons have been saying this guy is a minor. The young man himself said prior to now that he's a minor, that he's 15 years of age. And now the court has finally ordered the NIMC to release the biodata to the Attorney General of the Federation. Let me come to you, Mr. Idafe. Do you think that the court releasing that biodata to the Attorney General of the Federation will help Ike Ekweremadu have a standard case in the UK?
Well, this case to me is very surprising because as much as I know, organ, blood, and some of these things like that, they are voluntarily given. As much as I know. I might not be right in my position.
Yeah.
But to say that the young man voluntarily followed him to London for the purposes of at an agreed price, for me is very, very challenging. And we need to look beyond this situation because things like this have been happening. And as a nation, those having us at the helm of affairs need to go along their offices with high level of integrity, high level of morality. Otherwise, this kind of an issue should not be an issue that should come up in the nation of Nigeria.
Are you by any chance insinuating that to an extent that Ike Ekweremadu could be could be indicted for this particular accusation that's been laid against him?
If the news I got were correct, was that the young man came on his own volition at an agreed price if that is correct, why should you bargain with another man's child to harvest his organ, not minding what will happen to him thereafter, just to sustain your own child?
Well, but again, it was an agreement. I'm sure it was not forceful. There might have been certain medical, this is me assuming, right, man?
Yeah.
There might have been certain medical tests that had been made.
Yes.
Perhaps it could have been also said that you could live with one kidney,
Yes.
being that you might be more healthy than my child.
Yes.
Iko Ikoremado's daughter, according to the report, is actually having the kidney issues.
Yes.
And needs a donor to
Yes.
help her live longer.
Yes.
And this young man is having two functional.
Was I the only child?
Of Ike Ikoremado?
Yeah.
Well, I do not know
What
that.
about the other children?
So are you insinuating that the child should be left to die of that illness? Nothing should be done to help?
I am not saying so. Whatever that should have been done to save the life of that child should have been done. But the issue that I'm having here is the idea of bringing another man's child to harvest his organ for a prize is something that cannot go down well with me.
I'm going to come back to you, and then when you made mention that what should have been done, should have been done.
Exactly.
I'm going to come back to you on that. We're going to pick up from there. But let me quickly get the reaction of Moses Ben as regards the issue of Ike Ikoremado and the organ harvesting allegation laid against him.
All right, thank you very much, Victor. Let me pick it up from that particular angle where my colleague said what should have been done, should have been done. If you go straight or you look deeply through the procedures, the way of practice and exhibition at the health sector, talking about donating, giving out something, it's not illegal. Why? They have standards, they have established procedure, whereby as a person, you follow through these procedures to ensure that at the end of the day, okay, I'm having issue with this particular child. You go to the health sector. How do we do this? It's just quite unfortunate we do not have a health practitioner yet to take us through this particular
procedures,
process. But I know for sure, with what we've experienced some time ago, that if you want to give out your organ, you must undergo certain tests. Of course, there must be an agreement where signatures or signatories must stand there aside from the donor. On behalf of the donor, okay, I agree that this thing should be removed from this person's body and replaced in the other person's body. These procedures have been established already.
Yeah.
Talking about the UK, at the moment having interface with Senator Ike Ikoremado, my colleague said what should have been done should have been done. If they had gone through these procedures, the issue of getting this minor and then asked him, how old are you? Initially he said I was 15, he was 15 years old. We wouldn't have come to that point, because right from the point of getting into the country, they will show paper, all the agreement, signatures on the paper, everything there would be displayed. Then it will give a free entrance of that, either if you are a minor, but in as much as you have shown something to prove, okay, we actually we went through these procedures, these are the results, we have number of signatures on this paper, so go through it, we have evidence that, okay, this boy is actually here for this particular purpose. Now, talking about Ike Ikoremado, he's a distinguished fellow in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Senator representing Enugu West Senatorial District. Former Deputy Senate President of Nigeria Senate. And a number of persons, if you have actually put your ears down, have been saying, anyhow that justice must prevail. Why is it happening this way? Because this case is not being handled in Nigeria. That's why you can hear it, that it is happening this way, it is happening that way.
Yeah.
Number of persons are saying that justice must prevail and all of that. Why? The Nigerian society, or let me leave it from that angle, Nigerians now have confidence in, let's say, a system that is legal, one, law-abiding, where law works, where rules and regulations play pivotal role. Laws stand. Nobody kicks against law. Rather, law must hold you down, despite whoever you are.
But
either you are at the top the middle, or the low. You
But
must.
you realize that at the point as well, the Nigerian Senate was also trying to make sure that the case of Ike Ekwuemadu was being brought to Nigeria and let that case be tried in Nigeria.
Now let me ask you the obvious question. Did that proposal scale through?
Well, I think it's still in the making. They're going to have a hearing again.
Remember, the Ike Ekwuemadu was arraigned in court today.
Yeah,
At the end of the day, they still took them back to where they were. So the Nigerian senators or Nigerian National Assembly members, they've proposed, okay, let us solicit for our colleague. But I'm asking you the bold question, this is Victor. Despite the agitation, the proposal, let us go there and represent Nigeria as it scaled through. Now we are talking about system that works, as a matter of fact. So my issue, let us come back to the main crux of the issue this night. Talking about that David is a minor.
Yeah.
My problem with this particular issue, because anybody can decide to come up, okay, let me give out, let me donate this. They respect it. But did you make it legal? Did you go through the procedures involved in this particular thing so that at the end of the day, nobody will have issue with you? That is where my concern is.
Now, talking about being a minor, let's get that clarified. Now, the kidney donor now says he's no longer 15, but he is 21. That this came out basically at the Oxbridge Magistrate Court in the United Kingdom when the case was being heard for the alleged organ trafficking involving the former Deputy Senator President, the former Deputy Senate President Ike Ekwuemadu and his wife Beatrice. They were told that the kidney donor David Okpo is actually 21 years old and not a minor. So you get that now. So the young guy is not a minor, according to the report that we are getting right now. That the young man is actually 21 years old. So someone who is 21 years old is not a minor.
Victor, let us be plain with this issue.
Yeah. Okay.
In the first place, you should question what brought up the idea that Ike Ekwuemadu and the wife should be remanded in the UK. Yeah. No, we should question this fact first.
Basically, what do we arguing? We're going to get the reaction of Idafe because he wants to say something. What the argument has been that this young man is a minor.
He's a minor. That was there.
That was
and
there.
Then
but
then idea why they remanded Ike Ekwuemadu and the wife in the UK. So anything can happen in the process.
But again, it's clear. It was also tried in the UK that the young man is no longer 15 but 21.
Why didn't this report go alongside Ike Ekwuemadu and the wife when they were traveling at the initial time with David Okpo?
Well, we're going to get to that. Let's quickly get the reaction of Idafe because he's been trying to say something. Go ahead, sir.
For me, like I've said, the issues is really one that caught me off guard. Why do I say so? For me, the issue is not whether it's a minor or not a minor. I am looking at the totality, the godliness, the morality, the legality, all put together. I'm looking at all of these. Okay. Now, just a minute. When you say the young man is not a minor, therefore you are trying to justify, when I say you, I mean the system, trying to justify that because it's not a minor, then people are not trying to exempt or to excuse Ekwuemadu of this whole story. Now, for me, I have donated blood several times to my family members and to other people.
And you did that out of your own free will?
Out of my own free will, just to save life.
Okay.
Now, when you look at a situation where somebody will not take advantage of somebody, maybe because of the poverty situation in the system.
No, sorry, sir. I have a challenge with the taking advantage of. Because it wasn't written, it wasn't stated clearly that Ike Ekwuemadu was taking an advantage of the young man.
But it was said from the story, that he agreed for a sum to donate.
Yeah, that is a transaction on its own. So making a transaction doesn't mean that there's an advantage being taken.
You think so?
It is clearly what it is. If I want
supposing that young man has a means of living, do you think would have taken that option?
People always ask for more. People always want
you
more.
think so? And you think this young man is asking for more?
Perhaps he might have his own reasons as per why he wants to. He might have also looked at it that I can live with one organ.
Yes.
Yes, and therefore, giving out the order to help save a life
So,
be motivated
so why the issue?
for also a reward
Why,
that I'm going to get?
why the issue? If he had consented to it and he's doing it out of his own volition, why the issue coming up?
Well, that's what we're trying to clear, because once the UK court right now clears all of that, we're going to find out exactly what the challenge has been. You know, why the young man decided to seek asylum in the UK, despite the fact that he had, in court, had agreed to donate his kidney to Ike Ekwuremadu's daughter.
I just feel that the area of asylum in UK, maybe the young man is afraid that when he comes back with these same people, something else could happen.
Victor, in as much as Nigerians we are, Ike Ekwuremadu is a Nigerian.
Yeah, he is.
In as much as Nigerians we are, I'm saying this from my own perspective. I'm not bringing in everybody into this. I do not feel happy that such a thing is happening around Ike Ekwuremadu.
Okay.
But let us question. We're talking about legalism, a system where things should be done properly, a system where if you want to carry out anything, now there should be evidence, there should be proof. Okay, these are the reasons I am doing this thing. If it comes up to anywhere, I can stand strong to proving it. It's still a concern. Now, my issue up until now, I'm not comfortable with the situation that is being played out around Ike Ekwuremadu. But why did it happen? How did it happen? Let us be factual with this issue. People do hate on a daily basis. Based on consensus, you see a written agreement that they file it somewhere in case of tomorrow. You see the proof is evidential that this thing happened, this thing occurred.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. So dragging this issue whereby the federal government, the NIS has been asked to send the bio data of David Opo.
Yeah.
Why didn't it go through at the initial time? That is my concern. Now,
Okay.
There have been a number of days have gone through. Now, at the point we can now get the information at our hands that, okay, David Opo is 21 years old now.
Yeah.
So why didn't the contradiction come up immediately when they were held in the UK, where David Opo admitted that I am a minor, precisely 15 years? And then look at the position of Ike Ekwuremadu.
You know, when that position came,
do you know what this posed to when it comes to, let's say, international image? Do you know what it has spoken about Nigeria as a matter of fact? Not just that. Look at the position of Ike Ekwuremadu. Somebody who has served both at the international level, national level, state level, and what have you. He influences a number of things at his own senatorial district. Not only that, he has been members in different organizations, both national and international. So if we want to do things, despite the fact that we are trying to kind of position our system rightly, we know that number of things are really going wrong when it comes to the Nigerian system. But at most, with that position that you are holding, a distinguished senator, how many years have you been at the National Assembly? Yet look at what is happening around. Positioning our country in a very black hood.
Yeah.
Is a problem anyway, Victor.
It is.
That at the end of the day,
it is.
There will be a good outcome.
Well, we're waiting on the UK court to actually finalize the whole situation, and then we can actually know if Ike Ekwuremadu is guilty or not. But again, we have quite a lot of stuff to talk about tonight, so let's just move on to the next story this evening, where ISWAP had claimed responsibility for the Kuje attack and also freeze Kaduna train attack masterminds. Now, scores of gunmen believed to be terrorists on Tuesday night bombed the Kuje Medium Security Custodial Center in Abuja, which was being guarded by dozens of soldiers, Department of State operatives, police officers, and Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps personnel. During the attack, which began around 10:22 p.m., the terrorists released 600 inmates, including 15 deadly Boko Haram commanders who masterminded the March 28th attack on the Kaduna-Abuja train at Katari, Kaduna, in which 8 persons were killed and over 68 passengers kidnapped. The Islamic State West African province claimed responsibility for the attack in a 30-second video which showed the gunmen setting ablaze vehicles parked in the facility. I think we're going to have to see that video very quickly, first of all, to show the proof that the ISWAP actually made a claim on being responsible for the attack that happened in Kuje prison. Let's go ahead and watch that video right now, and let's see that claim. Now, this video was released. This video was it's a 30 seconds video that was released very recently. I think it happened. They released this video last night, and then they claimed that they were responsible for the attack that happened in Kuje. And that we are seeing all of this. Now remember that when the attack happened in Owo, the federal government had come up to say that the ISWAP was responsible for the attack that happened in Owo, and that they were doing everything within their powers to ensure that ISWAP was brought to book. Now ISWAP had come out to now claim that they are responsible for the attack that happened in Kuje in Abuja. And now the question again is the federal government going to do everything within their power to ensure that ISWAP is being brought to book, now knowing that the presence of ISWAP is very much available in the Nigerian state? Let me come to you again, Moses Idafe. ISWAP situation in Nigeria, where does this keep us in your own perspective?
Victor, when I didn't expect you to come in from that particular angle, that at this point, whether the federal government will do everything possible, now that it is crystal clear that ISWAP is there are words I will not use so that it will not look as if we have been promoting them. But that's by the way. If the federal government will now be up and doing in terms of going after this particular sect, it is quite abysmal. It is unacceptable. It is shocking. It is a big slap. Talking about ISWAP. Now, Nigeria is a country. I can still remember clearly, Victor, that Nigeria on different occasions has sent troops to outside countries to handle their security situation. So talking about ISWAP, in the first place, it is the responsibility of the government to ensure security of lives and property in that society. Nigeria is a sovereign state.
Yes, it is.
As a matter of fact, that now you are independent, you are responsible for the security of anything, for the a kind of carrying out any activities or program in that your particular society. In the first place, what would have given the room or space, let alone the floor, the big space, for a sect like ISWAP to come into place when it is on the shoulder of the government to bear the responsibility of putting in place security measures in the society? Therefore, I would say that we must question the security architecture of Nigeria. One, I don't want to say that our government has failed. Our government has not failed yet. We are still working on it. We can still correct a number of issues.
Lots of Nigerians who want to disagree with you on that. Lots of people are saying that the government has failed.
I've just admitted
that
our government
has not failed.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Our government has not failed. We can still get it right. But it questions the responsibility of the government. Something happened in Ondo State, the Owo. Kill it. Now the Abuja Kaduna train attack. Something happened. Up to the point, though ISWAP did not admit that they were responsible for that, as you have clearly stated this evening. But what happened? Now, this sect, after they had carried out that dastardly act, they came up with a video trying to display, showing us that look at what we can do. Now, they are challenging the security structure of Nigeria. You are in Nigeria, carrying out this evil. You are telling the federal government, responsible for the security of lives and property, that we are before you and you cannot do us anything. Yet, the federal government, Nigeria as a country, do you know how big Nigeria is?
That still poses back the question that I was asking, right? Because right now, ISWAP's presence is being made in Nigeria.
Let me come back to your question now. If the federal government would do everything possible to arrest in this situation, I doubt, because already we are questioning the security architecture of Nigeria. This thing, what happened a few days ago, didn't just happen. A similar thing had played out. What about the Abuja Kaduna attack? What about the one that happened around airport in Kaduna? Nobody has said anything about that. What about the killings in Owo? Nobody has said anything about that. Did they go after those people? What have been the proofs? Okay, that we've gotten a number of persons who were responsible in that act. Now, the president, I was happy though, the president came up today to say that he didn't expect such a thing from the security intelligence of this country, that such a thing could happen. Now, we like saying things, we like talking, instead of it to put actions in place, instead of the government to a kind of match action with the current situation. You keep talking, you keep saying, may their soul rest in peace. What happened? Does it mean that you have not been given the responsibility to prevent the situation that would bring that statement, may their soul rest in peace?
Let's take it from this angle again. Just like the government would love to say the federal government is on top of the situation. But let's go back to Idafe, and let's have your reaction as well as regards ISWAP coming to claim that they are responsible for the Kuje attack in Abuja.
Well, let me take it from where he stopped. He said government has the responsibility for the protection of lives and property. Now, has the government done that? Has the government been able to discharge that duty faithfully? We say a child fails an exam if he is unable to pass the exam that he is expected to pass. So as far as I'm concerned, the government of this country has failed. It's not only an issue of Buhari government and all that. You know, subsequent government in this country, they have failed to do what they're supposed to do. What is failure? Your inability to provide what you're supposed to provide is failure. A father who's supposed to give food to the children cannot give food is failure. So a government who's supposed to provide electricity cannot provide is failure. A government who should provide security cannot provide is failure. It's failure. Look at what is happening in London. Cabinet members are resigning. If what happens in Nigeria should happen in London, this young man there, Johnson, will not spend 5 minutes in that office. Will not spend 5 minutes in that office.
But I have an issue with always comparing our nation, Nigeria, to London
We
or the
cannot
UK.
be babies all the time. We cannot be, as a nation, as a people, we have professors, PhD holders in Nigeria.
Beyond professorship,
Yes.
there are certain knowledge, there are certain information, there are certain abilities that one needs to have to be able to tackle certain things like insecurity matters in the country.
Yes.
So I do not think,
Is
talking
it
about
true?
professorship basically.
Is it true that we lack those abilities?
Do we not?
Those capacity.
Do we not?
Look at the military might of Nigeria. Look at ragtag group coming to hold the country hostage for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. They are demonstrating as if there was no security in Nigeria. Now, the number as it is, it should be over 1,500. The terrorists that came. So for them to carry out that act successfully and went away successfully, did they fly? Is it not the road they pass?
Now, you also realize that that attack actually came some hours after a convoy of cars carrying the advanced team of the security guards protocol of the president that was heading to Katsina to go and also observe the Salah celebration that was supposed to come out this weekend. That is also to say that, to an extent, the presidential convoy, the advanced team convoy, now, but the president was not in that convoy. The presidential advanced team convoy was also hit. And lots of persons would have interpreted it to be that if the presidential advanced team convoy could be hit, it means that to an extent,
you are not confirming the failure.
These guys are also might have an access to hitting our president in Nigeria. Does it mean that our security system is totally porous? Ben said that the nation has not failed completely. But again, while you were speaking, you expressed the fact that yes, you had actually lost faith in the security measures of the country. That's correct.
Victor, the truth of the matter is that for the fact that the government has allowed this thing to come to this extent, it's a problem as a matter of fact. The issue of a war in Ondo State, where is the blueprint? Where is the report that we have clamped down? They would always come up with that word. We'll clamp down on them.
Exactly.
Where is the blueprint to substantiate? Give us figures. Of course, if you are in a good position, you show us faces. Those people who were responsible for that particular menace in Owo. Nobody has done that, not even from the security architecture of the country, to now give us confidence that similar thing cannot happen again. Now they allowed it. happened at Kuje. Imagine Kuje, prison. As ordinary person that we are, can you have access to a prison without you being fortified? You must see number of security guards from the entrance point. You must be asked several questions. Who are you going to see? What is your duty here? Why are you here? And what have you? Now, these people, as my colleague has described them, people that within just a space of time, government should even flush out immediately.
Yes.
They had the opportunity, they had the grant to infiltrate as fortified as Kuje prison is. Now, so we should question the security architecture of Nigeria.
We agree
It's
with
a
you.
problem as a matter of fact.
We have to question the
However,
security architecture.
however, it's still an opportunity to tell our government should be up and doing. We should step up the game. We will not just be entertaining this thing. We are not to be entertained with all the stories every day. Today you tell us we've recorded number of death case. Today, tomorrow you give us a different thing altogether. Yet we keep quiet in a country that you have the responsibility to protect lives and property also. Yet look at what is being happening. What are we telling international friends?
Well, there's a whole lot to talk about as regards this matter, and well, just I love to say, we just keep hoping that the federal government does the right thing, the security agencies they step up their game and do the right thing. But right about now, we'll go for a quick break, and when we'll come back, we'll take the story where the NLC chairman is saying, refine our refineries. Don't go nowhere, of course. This is ATN's Press Roundtable.
Meet the people making the difference in our time on ATN Icons. Here, we present you legends celebrated for their heroism in different fields and serve as role models today. ATN Icons, showing every Sunday 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Atlantic Television Network, StarTimes DTH channel 194, ATN Live on Google App Store, Facebook Atlantic Television Network, YouTube Atlantic Television Network, Instagram Atlantic TV Network, Twitter Atlantic TV Net. For sponsorship 0810 634 1777. ATN Icons, celebrating the giants of our time.
The people, the candidates, the party, the campaigns. What really makes an election here? Enough of the rhetorics. It's time for issue-based politics. 2023 elections. Who are the candidates? What do you know about them? Take a seat, relax, and join us for the 2023 elections on Atlantic Television Network, StarTimes, DTH, Channel 194, or ATN Live on Google Play Store and all our social media platforms. Twitter is at Atlantic TV Net. Facebook and YouTube is at Atlantic Television Network. On Instagram is at Atlantic TV Network. Elections 2023 from Mondays to Fridays at 8 p.m. Election 2023. We the people have a stake.
Welcome back, and just in case you're joining us, this is ATN's Press Roundtable. Like we love to say, the Press Roundtable is a convergence of media practitioners who come together to dissect the news and current affairs and also bring a narrative in the news. And tonight we'll be having conversations. The first thing we talked about was the issue of Ike Ekweremadu still being remanded in the UK after his case was being heard today at the Uxbridge Court in the UK. And then we went further to talk about the security measures where ISWAP came out to claim responsibility for the Kuje attack and also went ahead to free some individuals who were also part of the masterminds of the Abuja Kaduna train attack. And moving on to the last conversation, now we have the NLC president calling for the fixing of the refineries in Nigeria. Now, in his submission on preferring solution to fuel crisis, the president of Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC), Ayuba Waba, has told the federal government to fix the nation's refineries and get rid of subsidy payments. He also advocated the participation of private investors in building refineries, adding that importation of fuel poses threats to the country. Waba revealed this in a presentation made to the House of Representatives ad hoc committee investigating daily PMS consumption in the country. And the Labour leader, according to him, said, "We do believe that even if there is subsidy, it cannot be at the level quoted by authorities in the sector." In our document, he went on to say, on the oil sector, we have outlined conditions precedent for removing subsidies, if any, including fixing the refineries, creating conditions for a private sector participation in the building of refineries, even if they are modular. Now, you know, one of the talks that happens is that the refineries in Nigeria are under rehabilitation. And a nation like Nigeria that is blessed with natural resources, and we have our own oil, we have our own crude rather, and then we keep taking the raw materials out there for it to be refined and then brought back to us and being sold. Let me start with you, Mr. Hedafe. Do you think this is really a good way to go for Nigeria, for us to keep refining our own crude from outside the country and then import it back to our country, Nigeria, and we keep buying at the price that's been fixed by those that we're exporting it from?
It's a problem. It's a real problem. I have mentioned this thing many times and in some of my articles that I don't know what is wrong with Nigeria. Given the level of intellectuals, the level of education in this country, yet you have land you cannot produce gari. You have oil you cannot refine. This is a country with 3 standard refineries. You use them until they went underground. Now you are bringing fuel from abroad. You sell crude oil, you bring back refined oil. Nigeria is a bad story. Sorry to say, sorry to use this kind of words. I'm just saying it the way it is in my soul. Nigeria is a sad story. Because sometimes I try to use the family unit to describe Nigeria. 3 standard refineries in Nigeria. Are we saying that the life in 1970 Nigeria, the life in 1960s, the people we have, Nigerians we have in 1960s, 1970s, they were more visionary, they were more purposeful than the class of the educated elites that we have today? But the issue, as I've written recently, any society where material achievement is the climax of existence, that society is just what Nigeria is facing. We have come to become a society that sees material acquisition as the climax of achievement. Who is able to build a house, who is able to buy a car, he becomes the hero in town. Not minding whether any society there should be moral, but I think that morality is a component of society. Doing what is right for yourself and for your people. But what do we have in Nigeria? Everybody wants to make money at the expense of the other people, at the expense of the society. Otherwise, it's a very bad story to tell that Nigeria, we produce crude oil, yet, year in, year out, we're talking about the refineries. I think since from Obasanjo, we have been talking about rehabilitation, and billions of nairas have gone into that same rehabilitation. Today, we cannot see fuel coming from Nigeria. We are still importing, talking about trillions to import fuel that you produce the crude here, you send out at a very cheap rate, and you bring it back to your citizen at a very expensive rate. So the story of Nigeria is a very bad story.
I know your pain in that area, of course, considering how passionate you are talking about it. But let's go to you, Mr. Ben, again. Very recent, that was about 2 weeks back, the president said he was not going to sign for the removal of the subsidy, saying that, come on, other nations are doing this. Why should we take off the subsidy right now? And then right now, again, the Labour Congress chairman is saying, come on, we should remove this, the subsidy. We should begin to refine our own petrol here in the country, Nigeria. Do you agree with the Labour chairman?
First, Victor, Nigeria as among the economy that survives on oil. For anything to happen, we are all aware of that. Everybody knows that in this country. Also, there is this tie, as established by my colleague already, that Nigeria is a consuming or a consumption country.
Yeah.
Where we consume everything. If you build a house, you buy a vehicle, you have certain businesses in place. You've arrived, you're a hero in the society. Now I'm talking about removal or subsidy removal as a matter of fact. Now I would want to say, Victor, I'm sorry, that everybody is responsible for this. You just made a statement. At the point in time the president said that no, I cannot do this. Other countries are doing it and then they are progressing as a matter of fact. Have you studied the concept behind that? Do they just agree, go in there, start siphoning finance, moving that money, just for their own satisfaction and all of that? This issue is not just a fresh issue. It's something that has been there. But who knows why? This is a country, in as much as we have known that, okay, we depend on oil for survival. Everything that we do revolves around oil, whether you like it or yes, in Nigeria. We have not gotten it anywhere that this is another source of survival in Nigeria, even the agriculture, that we are trying hard to say, okay, let us try to diversify so that at the end of the day, we don't just rely on oil for survival. We have another means for survival. Yet, there are a number of politics being played around there so that it doesn't go, that particular aim does not come to the limelight. That's, by the way, as I stated, as a matter of fact, that everybody is responsible. Vote in people, what you should do, you are not doing it. Then when it comes after 4 years again, we still vote a similar crop of people into administration. They keep doing what they have been doing. We know it is before us that they have been doing this, then we keep quiet. How are we going to survive?
You're saying one of our problems is leadership?
It's not only leadership, as a matter of fact. That one, nobody argues that one. Nobody argues it in Nigeria, that's a leadership, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't want to mention it to be a waste of time, because we know it's a problem on its own. So if we'll be able to change the narrative, it will do us good, as a matter of fact, Victor, because where we are headed for, it's something else. Imagine how much that we inject into it, we export, at the end of the day we still import, and then pay at a very high price. So it's a problem. Now as a country, how would you survive with such a condition being in place? Now, who engineered this system, these conditions? The people who are leading us. So talking about failure leadership, that one nobody argues that it's been a problem.
But when you talk about comparison with some other countries that are equally doing this, do they have our own kind of advantage? Talking about crude, having refineries that are not working, is that the situation over there? Because when you want to do comparison, you compare like terms. You don't compare unlike terms. The countries that are doing subsidies for their people, they just do it as a policy to alleviate the suffering of their people. But they do not exactly have our own kind of advantage, where we have the crude here, we have refinery here, every manpower is there, everything is there, but the leadership just to organize it and make it productive. Is it the scenario you have in those countries?
That's a question the federal government should answer for us. All right.
Also talking about subsidy removal.
Let's take that as a final reaction because we are short of time right now.
So
just very briefly.
Removal, that it will give us a good grant for we to fix our refineries. Before now, we've been kind of injecting into rehabilitation of refineries. Where are the results, as a matter of fact? We know how much that they inject into that particular process. that we are rehabilitating our refineries. This administration will come. We put up a budget. We are rehabilitating this refinery, that of Port Harcourt, this and all of those things. At the end of the day, where is the line of that particular story? Now, they don't just say it. The moment they talk, they make statement. We trust our administration. As you are talking, before you learn at the end of your statement, the money has been signed already. So what is the result at hand now, Victor?
Well,
so we feel, or I would say the administration or people in government do not really see the effect at the grassroots here or down here, how it bites hard
on the people.
On the people.
All
However,
right, thank you.
should do well to kind of see a way of giving Nigeria
a way out.
A way out.
Thank you very much, Moses Ben. Of course, this is how far we can take on today's edition of the Press Roundtable, and I must say thank you, Moses Ben, for being on the show tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Victor. It's a pleasure to
be here.
Yeah, that's nice.
Awesome. Of course, to you as well. Good luck at that. Thank you for being on the show as well tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I'm very pleased.
Okay. And to all our viewers, thank you for staying tuned with us on the Press Roundtable. It's been a very beautiful section with all of you here. And of course, I'm sure that you got lots and lots of knowledge. But again, do remember that you can always follow us on on all our social media handles. Instagram is at let's start with Twitter. Twitter is at Atlantic TV Net. Facebook and YouTube is at Atlantic Television Network. Instagram is at Atlantic TV Network. And of course, do remember that peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Do keep it with us on the Press Roundtable same time tomorrow. And of course, do not be in a hurry to change your diet, because we have Vivian Douglas and Adejumo Adekunle already in the studio to bring you another interesting program called Towards 2023, where we'll keep you abreast and helps you know more of all of the candidates come 2023. And of course, this is Atlantic Television Network. Do have yourself a very lovely evening.
Making the difference in our time on ATN Icons. Here, we present you legends celebrated for their heroism in different fields and serve as role models today. ATN Icons, showing every Sunday 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Atlantic Television Network, StarTimes DTH channel 194, ATN Live on Google App Store, Facebook Atlantic Television Network, YouTube Atlantic Television Network, Instagram Atlantic TV Network, Twitter Atlantic TV Net. For sponsorship 0810 634 1777. ATN Icons, celebrating the giants of our time.
The people, the candidates, the party, the campaigns. What really makes an election here? Enough of the rhetorics. It's time for issue-based politics. 2023 elections. Who are the candidates? What do you know about them? Take a seat, relax, and join us for the 2023 elections on Atlantic Television Network, StarTimes, DTH, channel 194, or ATN Live on Google Play Store and all our social media platforms. Twitter is at Atlantic TV Net. Facebook and YouTube is at Atlantic Television Network. On Instagram is at Atlantic TV Network. Elections 2023 from Mondays to Fridays at 8 p.m. Election 2023. We the people.